let's hit play. Okay, so first of all, thank you for joining today. If there's any questions, please do not hesitate to hit them in the question pane, as we'll address them as we go on. Today's webinar is all about how can you connect with people that doesn't respond to your outreach. We do LinkedIn, we do email outreach, we qualify our ideal customer profiles, and they do not respond to us. But if you're looking for big whales or even small companies, how do you get them on the hook? That's what we're going to uncover at this webinar today. So let's get started. And demand, we're building the biggest growth platform for demand generation. And there's a combination of Sales Hub, Exact Visitor, and Tech Tracker. So just to give you an information about who we are and what we do. So I built a small case here for today. So we have a list of prospects. We reach out to them with Sales Hub or any other platform. They do not respond to us. And we really, really want to talk to them because we know we have a solution that makes a difference for them. The problem is they don't respond on LinkedIn. They don't respond on email. So it's really, really hard to sell to them. The way we go around that is the following. I'm just going to check the webinar settings here. If everybody can see, because there was a screen room before. So it seems like there's no chat, so we're good. Okay, so just to give you a really, really simple strategy. So they don't respond to us and we want to talk to them. So the ideal way to do is we get them to go to a landing page. Then we retarget them, we get them back. But that's the oversimplified version. I just wanted to put a placeholder for an illustration. It all comes down to we're going to have a hook, a story, and offer, right? So how do we do that? Well, the whole principle is we have this list of verified emails. They did not get back to us. We know that we have a solution for them. We know we are fit for them, but they're not responding to us. So we're going to start out by building an email marketing list, a campaign, because we want to get inside their foot door and have them click on that email. This email marketing list, think about it very strategically. You know who's your ideal customer profile. So what you're going to do is you're going to think out of the box and say, maybe I don't want them to get on my brand. Maybe I'm going to create a landing page for that. So you got to think about how can I give something away? There can be a list of leads. There can be a survey. There can be a free event. There can be anything where your logo maybe is sponsored, but it can be a third party or it can be a part of your branding. But the whole purpose of this is to get them to the landing page, sign up for an event or download something. And that's all, because then the fun part comes. So once they get to that landing page and engage, we make sure we install the exact visitors so we can track them across the internet on properties that have exact visitors, such as your landing page and your website. You can use the same tracking code across the two. And then you're going to install Adroll, because we're going to reuse Adroll for retargeting. Once we start retargeting, we're going to go into this. I just want to give you an overview on how you do it for your business. And just to give you the clarification, we did this for techtracker.io early on. We started reaching out to companies when we launched our API, and we realized the engineers that was the decision makers or could use TechTracker and benefit from it, they did not respond from email. So we did this flow and we landed over 50K in MRR. So this is why it's so exciting. So once they get retargeted on Facebook with targeted ads that resonate with them, well, then when they click on your website, you get a live Slack alert from Exact Visitor with the person's email, knowing precisely who they are. And you can reach out to them. You know that showed intent, they have an interest, they clicked on that. Now you identify that this company or this person has the need. So you can either call them or you can enroll them, as I'm going to show. So we set up a campaign in Sales Hub. We reach out now across LinkedIn and email, because now they know that. And you're going to change your name in your outbound emails to Jasper from Tech Tracker, because they know about Tech Tracker now. So when there pops up an email saying Tech Tracker, they will open it. Then we sync that over to that visit over to your CRM. We make a drag down button in our CRM, so we manage the automations from there. And then we click that button and then we start the automation automatically. And that's all done through webhooks. And then at the end of the day, you convert customers that you didn't have the ability to speak to, because you found a way to retarget and you found that information about them. You found the intent when they're ready to buy. You know about it before they tell you. And they don't know about that. So think about your landing page of something you give away of high value. It does not have to be your brand. And when we tested it, we tested out giving free lead list, we tested out giving free data, we tested out doing an event. And we used all kind of ways to actually retarget them. And if you think about your ad spend is going to be significantly less than just advertising on Facebook, because you're reaching out, you're serving ads to the people that you want to click on them. Only the people that you want to click on them. So it's super powerful. So how do you need it? Well, first of all, you need a Sales Hub platform, an exact visitor subscription. You need to enroll for Adroll. That's actually free. You need to set up your Facebook ads and ad account on Facebook. You need to, if you don't use it on your primary domain, and let me just double check here, there's a question. There will be a recording for the ones that missed the start, just so you're aware of that. I'm just trying to find my mouse to get this piece of bubble away. Just bear 1 second, I just need to remove it. There we go. So there is a recording, everything will be repeated. You will see that in the end. So once you have these platforms, think about if you don't want to make the retargeting campaign and roll them in on your main domain because you want to do it anonymously to actually track them, not making them aware of that, that's okay. You can do that. In fact, you can create and buy any domain, build a landing page, and find a hook, understand your ideal customer profile, what will make them want to respond to this, and build it out. And there's some ideas to some email templates here. First of all, I'm taking sometimes examples in my own business, right? So there could be, hey, as you're in marketing, we conduct our annual surveys around, and then we put some information, drop in emails, replies, because, well, there is every year a drop in email replies. So if you care about email reply rates or email open rates, you might want to know about that knowledge. We're sharing the best practices, and you download here, put the CTA. That will go to that landing page. We start retargeting them. We get them indexed into exact visitor if they're not already indexed. And once they come back on your website from that retargeting, you know about, you get an instant alert in Slack, and you can start the selling process again. And then you're more likely to sell to them. It can also be you're doing an event. It can either be a sponsored event, an event you're doing, you find somebody to speak on it, find something that will make them feel, I want to join this, I want to click on it. You need a hook, then the story, and then that offer that really makes them want to click on this so you can retarget them across the internet. That's extremely important. Now, I take an example here. Gong does extremely well. If they're not a unicorn yet, I wouldn't be surprised if they are soon. So Gong, they're doing an event here. They're sending out emails, obviously. Sales, Gong is very sophisticated, so they would run retargeting, for example, through Adroll for people that are not customers, and then actually use that as a driver as well. So you can set up something like that. You can set up, as I said, a survey form where you download it and so on and so forth. Gong took the next step. So once you get indexed, they actually show you ads on Facebook. So this is an example of how Drift they use Gong, a real video testimonial from a customer. That's extremely powerful. So if I'm thinking about buying Gong, or I'm in the need for the solution, I've been to the landing page, I get this ad in front of me, I'm more likely to pay attention to it because it's something that fixes a problem I have. But if Gong just cold email me and I don't like to be sold to, at that point, I will not actually engage for that ad. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you take the people that didn't respond, reverse the funnel, and get them through a retargeting, get that signal when they're ready to buy, and then re-engage with them with a different campaign as a one-to-one sales. So that's the approach here. And it's, as I said, you can test it. It's not expensive. In the end of the day, you have the platforms. All you need to do is just to connect the dots. And most companies, they don't think about that. It's almost on the level of, most companies don't take retargeting with intelligence to that level, but it gives you that benefit. And if you want to beat your competition, you're going to start doing that. So once somebody clicks on that ad, I get a live Slack notification. This person came, And I just took some random notification here from my Slack when I prepared these slides a month ago, approximately. And I got here Patrick Parvin, you next. He came by the website. So I know that he's interested in Exact Visitor because he came by Exact Visitor. Now this is tracking setting Exact Visitor for Exact Visitor, but that could have been on your side. But having that information, what you want to do, and I will show you how to do step by step in the platforms after. You want to click on this into Exact Visitor. Then you want to have, before that, you want to have set up an automation where you reach out to them. And the reason why you want to do that, you predefine this automation based on this whole campaign. So instead of have the LinkedIn Sales Navigator link in the top, you have my contacts, and basically we run a one-to-one. So it goes down, I already have the email, but if the email has been verified, we send them a LinkedIn connection request and say, hey, this is Jasper from Sales Hub. This is what I demand. This is how we can help you. Now, that might not be the right approach either. So what one-to-one does, and you get a full demo on that and how that will help your sales team, is you have the ability to personalize down to the core. So instead of just saying, hey, we have mutual connections on LinkedIn, you talk about, it's all about them. Remember, you got them on the hook. You don't want to scare them away. You don't want to automate everything, but you want to take it to a level so it's scalable. So you build out that entire automation, and then you use a webhook from Sales Hub, from your CRM to go into the Sales Hub. And basically what happens is I'm in my CRM, I have this drop down, I just pick the name Jasper, you can put an name, and I set it up this way. So I save the person from Exact Visitor, set them over in HubSpot, and I click one button and they automatically get enrolled into this automation Sales Hub. That then add them on LinkedIn, send them a LinkedIn message, send them an email. If I want one-to-one personalization, open up Sales Hub, and then this is one-to-one personalization. It's super simple. And that's the way, because we know that they're ready to buy. So the outcome is obviously this. I would like to have a short demo. We're producing more revenue now. So that's going to be the outcome of your actions. Find the hook. What do your ICP wants? And get them on the hook, right? So let me show you how you actually set this up. I'm just going to close down this, this part here. So first of all, I just created a dummy landing page. So there's not really an audience here, but Adroll is super simple. You got to set up a pixel, connect it to your Facebook account, your ad account, and then you create the creative. And the creative should be creative around who are you actually emailing out to get on your landing page? What will make them rationate and click on it? So you're going to test that and create it. So Adroll would automatically set up those campaigns with Facebook. They will retarget based on the came to your website. It's a bit better than just using the Facebook retargeting script. So when we got to Sales Hub, I mentioned you set up these automations that we then use in HubSpot. What you need to do is you got to start out by saying, if somebody come in from my contacts, which is the starting point, you build your entire automation, and it could be something like, first of all, we want to do personalization instead of automating it. Then we want to set up, okay, what happens next? We're going to send a LinkedIn connection request. We're going to write up a connection request, maximum 300 characters. It's important you write something that you can use in case you don't wish to personalize it. So you set it up fully. And then you start saying, okay, if everybody in this campaign had a verified email, because we emailed in the past, we know that, and they responded to emails. So we don't need to run the email verification as in my example, but we set up the email template we want to send out. And then typically we have a small delay in what we're doing. So we want to give them time to connect to us on LinkedIn, like 3 days. And if you're connected, then we're going to send them a LinkedIn message and so on and so forth. So we set all this flow up. And then what happens is once we roll them in, you give this personalization a name, then I'm going to open up my personalizations and they will float in every day according to my actions. And I will have personalizations to run through where I'm saying, these are highly targeted accounts. I don't want to automate them 100%. I don't want to be like the rest where you have, hey, this is John. Love to connect with you. I found you in a search. I'm in a similar industry with similar contacts, mutual contacts. It just doesn't cut in 2021. So what I want to know is we have Greg here. We know he's a business development executive. He has 30 years of experience. So you're also talking about Barron's world-class weather data services. He works in insurance, right? So if I want to talk about that, that's something he cares about. Then I'm going to rewrite my connection request here. I'm just going to go. Love to learn more about Baron's world-class weather data services and connect, whatever it is, right? So it's save. So now this is all about Greg. I check my follow-up LinkedIn message, my emails, they're all good, but I can click to personalize them if I want. So it's a little bit more about him. And when I'm ready, I just hit send to prospect. Now I personalized him and he's more likely to respond. We also know the technologies the companies are using. So we know that this company, what are they using? So they use Bitbucket, so they have an engineering team. That's good to know. They use Salesforce and Pardot. Means they have high budgets because you don't get started Pardot unless you sign a 10K, 20K annual contract with them. So we know these from that point of view have Pardot integration. They're a great fit. We know a lot of information about him here. We even know his latest post on LinkedIn. So we can check those out, right? So we can talk about that just in one-to-one personalization, reaching out to him in seconds and convert him into a sale. And that's why personalization is so powerful. Instead of having the random connection request mentioning all the same, you're going to stand out in the pack here. So that's simply how that runs. So you also have exact visitor. And what I'm talking about is they will tell you precisely the real visitor visiting that landing page, but also your website. So once you have these visitors, I can see a niche here, onetool.co, he came. I have different people that I'm tracking here. I have eGain, a big software company that's been checking out our pricing. I should probably talk to them. I have all kind of companies, small companies, big companies. In fact, there's coming a filter in a couple of days where you can sort them by the technology they're using. So maybe that's relevant to you. You can save the filters and you can sort everybody visiting using Salesforce. Then you get a list of those. And different companies. I go to Man Materials. I know he visited pricing, so I want to talk to Kelly, right? So this is a good example of having that intelligence, and that what exact visitor gives you. So it will track the person from the landing page, show that in the sidebar, and then send you that notification. When they're ready, you just save them, shoot them over to your HubSpot, and once they go into HubSpot, instead of running too many flows, you want to control it out of your CRM. We created just custom fields in HubSpot. So we take automation here as an example here, and just take the input Jasper, hit save, enrolled into the automation, it starts. If I have personalization, I will go into my personalization tab in Sales Hub, and they will be waiting there. And then I run that automation. And what's smart about automations is if you're using Pipedrive or HubSpot, you have the ability, once somebody reply or actually, if the existing are not in HubSpot, we sync them over. And again, that's just a one-click button. So we sync them over to HubSpot. And in HubSpot, you will then see the entire communication across LinkedIn and email. It's simply just one setting. So I just say sync to HubSpot and hit apply. That's all you need. You also have the option to say if they reply to me either on LinkedIn or email, I'm going to apply that. And then you get all the replies over there. If you stop communicating and that data goes into HubSpot, you have a workflow that, or you see the email and you take over and you're closing it from your CRMs. Sales Hub did the magic. You have the communication with them. So that's the purpose here. So let me just see. Callie asks, sorry for my contacts. How does Sales Hub know that is my contact? So just to clarify that, when you build automations with Sales Hub, the part called My Contacts means either they're sitting here in My Contacts, they come from our plugin, or they come from a webhook. And that's the starting point, how this automation starts. It can also be from a LinkedIn search, it can be from a website search. It depends on what starting point you use. The My Contacts is used for this purpose we do here. It's not relevant to who you connected to on LinkedIn or nothing. So that's what it means. Okay, so I answered that. Just wanted to take some of the questions as we go along. So you've seen that. Okay, perfect. So the basic is, again, and I just want to sum up, so typically what we do in companies is we test different channels, what convert better. And what we found is when you have your ICP, you know what technology they're using. For example, if we know exact visitor want to replace companies, just install lead feeder because or lead forensics, they are old, they doesn't track the real person, they don't do well on work from home, they track 5 times less. If I want to get in touch with those, I can build automations based on who is actually using the platform. If I have tech tracker enabled, and I can say, okay, who just added that platform, who's using it. And I'm going to say whoever is using lead feeder. And I can set up an entire automation where it prospect those, the right decision makers, and everything is automated, either go to personalization or not. You have those options as a growth platform. But the purpose of what we're talking about today is to say, okay, if I run this process, I have all these companies using lead feeder. We know that we do 5 times better, but they do not respond to my email. Well, we're going to export those emails. We're going to run them through marketing automation. We're going to make sure we have a high deliverability. So we only send to the one that we really want to talk to. So there may be a batch of 500, 2,000 people. And then we make sure we're so relevant that they want to click on that link, land on the landing page. Doesn't have to be exact visitor. They get something for free. There's something in it for them. You always have to put yourself in the mind of who you're selling to. So there has to be something in it for them. And once they click that link, you get them with exact visitor track, you get them targeted with Adroll. And then once they click on that ad, come to your website, you get that Slack notification they're interested, you sync them over to a one-to-one campaign, you talk to them the same day they visit your website. You have that intelligence to remember who tech tracker, exact visitor, sales up, or whatever the company name is you're selling from, whoever you are. They know who you are when you reach them. It's fresh off their mind, they're ready to talk, and you're just increasing your odds of selling more. We tested it with the tech tracker, and we start rolling that out a lot. So right now what we're doing is we're building different offerings we give away for free, and not like the webinar today. This is just a webinar for customers or potential customers that we're running, showing them really what you can accomplish with our platforms. And for us, that's important to share that word. If you want to use it or not, or take that knowledge from another platform, that's not an issue, but we like to share our knowledge. So it's about, again, understand your ICP, the persona, how to communicate with them, and then get in front of them through an retargeting ad. And again, if you run ads today, you might pay $3 to $10 per click, but if you're just 100% targeting the right people, you might see clicks for $0.50, $2. But even if it's $10, if that's the company that's going to come and pay you $1,000 a month, or it's a $10,000 deal, or just $200 deal, it's a good return of investment. You get in front of them, you positioning yourself well. They keep seeing you, they're going to respond to you because they remember your name. And that's the benefit of this, what I would call a growth hack that nobody really does, but should do. And that's why we're sharing it with all our customers. So if you have any questions, please type them into the question pane. So I have a person asking, what's the cost of exact visitor person tracking? So what we're actually rolling out, so you can start buying it monthly very soon. We're just waiting for the migration of the payment system. Once that is done, you can set a budget for how much you want to spend, and we're going to show you that amount of visitors. If you only want to spend $40, well, then you spend $40. If you want to spend $1,000, you spend $1,000. So think about it like the ad market. You can set your terms and you can see how it works for you, and then you can invest more on these leads afterwards. It will typically start out in buckets from around $99 a month with about a price of $3 to $4 per lead. And then as you buy more, the cost per lead will go down. So that's how the people tracking pricing is coming out. It's getting out to the public market now. It's been by invitation only over the last year, as we have been increasing the data set and actually working close with customers to understand the workflows, what precisely work. And the story for how Exact Visitor came around, we sat inside our company with the technology, a part of it. About 3 years ago, we were invited to PricewaterhouseCoopers World Headquarters in London. I was personally presenting to 3 of the biggest banks in the world, 3 of the biggest insurance companies in the world. And we had a non-European entity bank at that meeting. And they said, Jasper, we love that you can track any company on our website. But what we really want to know, our salespeople are lazy. We want to know the real person. And I remember leaving that meeting. That's not possible. Forget it. And then it stuck in my mind. I keep talking to my business partner, Lori, who runs Exact Visitor today. And I said, can that even be done? And 2.5 years later, we cracked it. We spent about 6 months, 8 months building really up the data set now. And this is why we're releasing it to the general market very short. So if you want to get on that, go to Exact Visitor, and we can probably get you on a free trial. You have to go through a demo with Lori, and then you can try out people tracking for your website. Just go to exactvisitor.com, hit the chat, and book your demo, and then you can get people tracking, see how it works for you. Right now, we are actually letting companies in on a proof of concept basis where you actually see the real visitors on your website, and you can decide if that's a fit for you. Okay. So that was the whole purpose of today's session. It was to teach you how do you get in contact with clients that doesn't respond to you and re-engage them through different means such as intelligence and retargeting, and know precisely when to email them. The timing always have to be right because they might end up buying from your competitor. So if you miss out those aspects, you wouldn't grow as fast. So I hope you got something out of the session today. And if there's any questions, we also go in more depth in a blog post this week that will come out. We'll email this recording afterwards. Then after, when the blog posts get published, in depth of how this whole mechanism, the strategy works, you will get that as well. So thank you so much for your attention today and for joining. And I hope you really got some benefit out of it. Thank you. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any chat. Okay, thank you. Perfect. Thank you, guys.